It's IPR Studio One. I'm Lucius Pham here with Dua Saleh, a songwriter, singer, and actress from Minnesota. Dua, thank you for being here.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Lucius.
We're in Gardner Lounge underneath Grinnell College in Grinnell, Iowa. Is this your first time in Iowa?
Yes, this is my first time in Iowa. I'm super excited, especially since I'm from the Midwest originally. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota, and I used to live in Minneapolis. So it's nice to be, in the Midwest, vibing and freezing my ASS off with
Public
folks.
radio. I appreciate you. Your discretion. You're on one of the horniest shows on quote unquote television, Sex Education on Netflix. Sex positive show, one of the most sex positive shows as well.
Yeah.
But I take it that mostly predominantly English cast may have expanded your European fan base. Are you looking forward to seeing what's coming after season 4 in terms of the people you see in the crowd?
For sure. I got a little taste of it when we went to London. We sold out London for my first tour. It was really interesting to see just the drip in the crowd and seeing how cool and demure they were in the crowd, a little bit less excitable, but obviously people still came out and bought merch at the show and were excited. But seeing the personality of each city and seeing the way that people are able to deal with things. I remember the sound completely shut off during our London show, and I just kept going. I just kept singing to them a cappella, and the way they responded was it was just so much love and so much just patience with the sound, text and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how they because I always ask do any of y'all have any of y'all watched Sex Education? And in the US it's half and half, maybe a quarter of the people will know about Sex Education. But when I ask the UK and Europe fan base, it's literally almost everybody in the crowd, 98% of the crowd responds back being woo, yeah, I've watched it. So it's fun to see how people are introduced to me and how they're able to latch on to the Moths, which is the name of my fan base. Dua Saleh fan base is named the Moths after my song Moth, which I made in the UK as well, prior to me being on Sex Education. So yeah, it's always fun to see what happens when there's the switch from the Sex Education fan base that later on becomes music fans of Dua Saleh.
I found out about you through your music. Minnesota, very close geographically. We got to stick together. Thank you for that. Did you audition for Netflix, or did they also find out about you through your sexy music?
It was through my music. They slid into the DMs and they were hey, we're interested in you being a part of the show. And I gave them my management's email, and then my manager obviously forced me to audition because he was this is a great opportunity and you need to do this. And I auditioned and I was nervous, and I even asked them to have an acting coach for me, just for the audition, because I hadn't acted before in TV. So
what about in school?
No, I did extracurricular courses, sometimes I did it in high school. I did for art electives, I did an acting course, and then I did the same thing for a private college that I went to. They for some reason made us take gym and art electives, which was I think pretty smart actually. It kept me in shape and stuff. But yeah, I think I did an acting course, which they forced us to do the Meisner technique, which was really intense, but I think that helped. And then I also was a starving poet before I became even a singer.
You definitely took poetry classes, I can tell.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a new So when I was in college, I was applying for grants, and then some of the grants I saw was for theater, and so I kind of cheated a little bit. I was performing my poetry for the theater performances and just like embodying the poetry in my body while I was doing that. So I think the 2 years that I did that for money, just to pay rent, really helped me like hone in on just like the ability to engage an audience. But outside of that, I didn't go to school for it, and I like didn't think that I was going to be an actor. But I guess like maybe they saw like a Twin Cities like post about a non-binary actor named Dua Saleh. But I'm guessing they probably just like Googled non-binary artist, and my name's always the first one that pops up if you look that up. So
that SEO game is strong then. That's good.
Yeah.
We waited a long time for your full-length debut album, I Should Call Them. It's a no skips 2024 banger, and I'd love for you to talk us through why it took you so long, and and also the larger themes of the record as well.
Well, it did take me a while, but that's because when people talk about LPs and albums, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of desire from listeners to gain vulnerability, and I feel like that's something that I struggle with, at least like publicly being vulnerable with people. Even in the music that I put out there, obviously I have to make music that like comes from the heart, otherwise it doesn't sound natural. So you're hearing like my emotions, but it's often clouded and cloaked with flowery imagery and flowery words that hide the true meaning of what I mean, by implementing poetic tactics and like poetic manipulation so that people don't actually understand what I'm saying. But with this album, because it is an LP, it is a full length, I wanted to showcase vulnerability, because that is what I love about albums. It's like you literally get a window into people's souls, and it describes their life in more depth than an EP or say a mixtape might be able to do. It's like you are literally like, it's like reading a book. You're experiencing it in its fullness and its breadth.
Double back when I kiss you. I ain't want no problems, but girl, you got some issues.
Yeah, this time I challenged myself. I had songwriters help me with it, and they definitely challenged me to even tap into my own songwriting and my own experiences and showcase that. But yes, the full length album, I know this is kind of long-winded.
Please, more wind.
Yes, as much wind as possible. It feels like I'm talking about I'm talking about relationships, which is the case. I was processing my emotions. While I was in sex education, the second season that I was on in sex education, my character had a love interest to a sapphic. And so I think that forced me to think about my sapphic relationships, like my actual material, like life and love, and like my connection to sapphics, or like femmes that I have been in relationships with. And so that like kind of put me through an emotional roller coaster, a tornado, if you will. And it felt like I couldn't breathe because I hadn't really been able to express myself about these things, because most people don't really even talk about relationships and stuff in like therapy. They talk about like childhood or things that feel like more immediate, but relationships are immediate, and our love and the ways that we engage with our love life is immediate. And so I was just processing that And as I was expressing that, I started reflecting on relationships and human relationships with the planet, and the way that we engage with the planet, and toxicity that may emerge out of that, and the way that the earth may bite back as a result of our toxicity, as a result of our negligence, and the way that we neglect the sacred relationship that we have with earth. And so those relationships that I had, whether I was toxic or they were toxic, or there was just like misunderstandings or miscommunication, it really made me think about just like the way that we engage with one another. Obviously, I'm from Sudan. Like, we see crops being burned down as a tactic of warfare. We see technological proliferation and of weaponry. We see like an abundance of toxic waste being dumped into the sea by like federal governments, U.S. federal government, and like Sudan, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Egypt. There's so many different like ports that are like being completely clogged up as a result of these wars. And the same thing has happened to the Midwest because of oil pipelines being dug into the ground and destroying the earth, and literally bleeding into our water canals and our waterways and our rivers, and incinerators, like, and oil factories, like burning up like the air and making it difficult and leading to kids getting asthma. So basically, I was just thinking about like the ways that we engage with earth, and thinking about how earth is sacred and how we should cherish her, and translating that into these love stories and these love experiences that I've had with actual people. And then that's basically it. But I just thought I should make those two connections.
That's basically it. Your role took you on a not just a sexual journey, but a philosophical one.
Definitely.
I think you're in a good position to tell us about some Sudanese artists you might want to put on that you enjoy listening to. Sudanese or Sudanese-American. Lay them on me.
Yeah, I'll start. Well, just since we were just talking about the UK, Nadia is a huge artist from the UK. Has like more streaming than me. Makes like rock music. It's not like I'm putting them on, but there's like Gaida. Gaida's from the Netherlands and also Sudanese. Mustafa the Poet. That's somebody that I listen to. There's a lot of Sudanese artists that are out there. I'm just like naming like my friends right now, which is probably, but they're all good artists, mashallah. Yeah.
This is the end of your Midwest or U.S. really tour before you go overseas and have fun in Europe. What's your experience been in Europe before, and what are you looking forward to in your next jaunt?
Yeah, my first tour was in 2022, and I was able to go to Europe, but a lot of those dates were festivals. So I got a lot of fans coming out from Berlin, from Sweden, Switzerland. We were playing a lot of like shows in Paris, and that was super fun. But a festival is a different environment from a Dua Saleh headline tour. So it was nice to participate in that and see the culture of Europeans just like dancing, and see which songs they vibe to at specifically festivals like Meltfest, which is like an electronic fest. So obviously they were more drawn to songs like Fave Flav featuring Duckworth, which is a house track, R&B house track that they were all dancing to, and probably recreationally doing other things as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting this time to go to those same cities. And I just like sold out Berlin, which I'm super excited about. And I want to see what the crowd responds to, because this time it'll be a show that's specifically my fans coming out. So I don't know. I'm curious this time.
I take it you're, actually, around 2018, you had a Colors studio performance. Where's that in Europe?
Yeah, that's also in Berlin. Yeah, that's the reason that I was out there for the first time. We didn't even get to really go out to their fancy clubs, honestly, which I was sad about, but we got to be responsible at all times. So we went there and we did Colors, and then we also shot my song Sugar Mama, which is like my biggest streaming song, which I'm super excited about, especially since I just produced it on my phone.
Climbing up the rankings, maintained it. Getting kind of popular among the local flagrants. Trampoline temptations, tugging at your patience, flipping at those turtle claws, luxury turned latent.
Would love to ask you just a couple more questions. You've worked with a lot of artists, Velvet Negroni and Duckworth. We spoke with at a festival a while back. How do you go about picking your musical collaborators? And are they coming to you these days? Oh, also that Denzel Curry song, awesome, very cool.
Thank you. A lot of them happen organically. Duckworth, he kept like tagging me in things, and I just like reached out. I was like, hey, I love your music. Do you want to work together? But I think his ex was obsessed with my music, and I think that's how he found out about me. So I feel kind of bad that like now I have a song with him. He has to think about his ex and stuff. But Velvet Negroni, that's just like through Minneapolis lore. Like we were connected to the same like producers, and we met, and like obviously like I don't know, he's like a sibling cousin vibe to me. Other people, Amare I never met, but like was following me for a while, and I tagged her in something and I realized she was following me, and I was like, oh my god, do you want to work on music together? And then we made like a few songs together, and then I asked her for a song, and then she complied. Like she was like, hell yeah. Other ones came through like other organic means. Ryan Olsen is the producer, executive producer, along with Andrew Broder of my debut LP/album called I Should Call Them. And he brought in Sid Sirium like for a session, and Sid heard like the song Time and Time Again, and jumped on it, and so that happened like through other people.
It's a really beautiful song also.
Thank you.
That work.
Thank you. I love performing that song. Like one day I'm gonna try to catch him. He's always traveling and like touring and stuff, but like it was really nice to do that music video with him and just like be like friends with him, and like I don't know, just listen to him perform. I'd like have gone out to a few of his shows. He even invited me to not Soundset. Oh my god, I almost said Soundset, but Coachella, which is even bigger. But,
even bigger.
So that was fun. But I didn't even go to Coachella because I had to move the same day because. Oh my God, there was a lot that happened. I had like a stalker, and I had to move out of the building that I had lived in, and it was wild. So I couldn't go, but I was like, I'm gonna be there for your next show, and I ended up going to one of his more intimate like art gallery things that he curated, where it had a bunch of Southwest Asian artists, like their visual art, like paintings and like their textile art and other stuff. And then he had like a few poets, and then he sang, and like with like just like a pianist, really beautiful. But yeah, all of these connections are really, really organic, and yeah, I'm like maybe like a little picky. Like I do get asked a lot by people.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like kind of like the Velvet Negroni lore a little bit, of just like being kind of like a artist that like music heads, people who really like music, are super into. And
I'd hated to put a genre to it, but you've evolved a lot. You had a more hip hoppy sound early on, a darker maybe hip hop, and to not be loosey goosey with the features is impressive in that space. Can you talk about your evolution? Lastly, there's a lot more guitar and drums than I expected in I Should Call Them. Tell me about the jump from 808s to well, I've also heard you're trying to integrate more Sudanese instruments into the music. Tell me about that. I
like was bringing in like strings because in Sudan we use a lot of oud, which is like the string instrument that's very folky, and that's like kind of the folk element. And the guitar like element reminds me of childhood. All of the like singers, Muhammad Wardi, Nancy Ajaj, and just like a number of artists that I just like grew up with, that later on made me like love songs and like engaging with my artistry in that way. And I'm also excited to explore more in depth those specific East African and North African sounds that I would love to engage into like this universe that I'm creating. Yeah, so I know it's interesting that I have promoted an R&B album this entire time, and that I've been utilizing different experimental sounds. Like the song Playing Games has techno and electronic elements to it. The song Too Excited has elements of free jazz, contemporary R&B, and also at the end of it, it explodes with a new subgenre that we created called Black R&B, which is black metal music and R&B music, contemporary R&B music mixed together. It's really experimental, but I think that is reflective of just like how I have been allowed to be free as an artist. Like I started out as an indie R&B artist that like people just let kind of flow through all these 808s and like through softer sounds. Like I'm a producer myself, so sometimes I'll just like have an idea that I kind of push. Maybe I push a little harder than some other artists, but it's like the combination of being like in this ecosystem that I've talked about, like and being free in that way, and also like being like knowing when to let your tide pull in the sounds that you need.
Never one to be pinned down. Dua Saleh, thank you so much for your time. You can listen to their 2024 album, debut full-length album, I Should Call Them, everywhere now, and Sex Education Season 4 is streaming on Netflix. Dua, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you. I love y'all.
This is Lucius Vam for IPR Studio One.
Nothing but my people, or I hit you with the da 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 da. Sing it. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Thank you so much, Grenell.
Hi, this is Dua Saleh, and you're listening to IPR Studio One.